That is right. Video time with Dave. So, besides this shirt being too stiff for whatever reason, just want to fit. I'm gonna start this video up. Two things. Two things that will lead into multiple things, probably. But let's start it out. So I remember when I was young, after making all the fucked up choices I made, because I made a lot of fucked up ass choices, and just like my language, it was hard to correct. But so I was doing hot tire roofing, and it's one of the hardest jobs I had. Let's be honest, man, it was one of the hardest jobs I had. And my foreman at the time, Tim Wolf, as I was nearing layoff or whatever, I needed the job. Let's be honest, I needed the job, and it doesn't matter. I was getting laid off, and there was nothing else I could do about it. That's what it was. So he told me, he said, "Dave, you put this job down on a resume, or application, resume, you get a job anywhere." What? Nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever told me that. I filled my information out on the application all the time before, and I would go into an interview process, and I would always have to explain myself and the past situations that I already made. I always had to explain that because it always came up. And for those who fill out applications and have to mark that little check box or whatever, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for someone to say, you put this down on your resume, you'll get a job anywhere, was a shock because nobody had ever told me that. Nobody ever told me that. And at the same time, my very next job, the very next job I took after that was this job. My boss, Scott Willoughby, said, "Dave, anybody would be lucky to have you." What? Hearing shit that I never heard before? Like from the very first real jobs I had to the second real job? The job that turned me into a foreman by not me by applying, by me just working for the company. Eventually I moved into that role, was given that role and position, and I had to do it. I didn't want it. When I first was offered, I didn't want it. I mean, my foreman to me brought it up to me at the time, and I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't want that. Nope, not gonna do it. Nope. Long story short about that was I had two real jobs at this point. Up until then, I made all the wrong decisions. Trust me, I don't have to explain to you. I just know I did. And I was lucky to have these jobs. Period, I thought, And growing up in a place, in an environment, and where I put myself in the situations I put myself in, to hear words like this was something I never heard before. Opportunities that I never heard before. Things that I didn't think were possible. Like stuff that I just didn't know was available. Like it definitely was a pat on the back, real eye-opener, shocking. It was shocking to say the least, man. I was lost for words big time, right? So during these same times, though, even though I got paid good money, and I worked real hard, I worked a lot of hours, worked a lot of days. Sometimes I wouldn't even take days off. I just work straight on through the weekend, whatnot. Led me into, at the same time, conversations and even being turned down to, I went to go open up my checking account and I got denied. How do you get denied opening up a checking account? I literally got denied. They said, "Oh, sorry, sir. We can't open up an account for you." And I'm like, what? How is this possible? And at the same time, also in conversation, was a story, somebody talking about somebody else saying, "I bet you he can't even write $100 check." Everybody's laughing. I'm not laughing because I can't even write $100 check. How is this possible? This dude is making money, working, getting overtime. you can't even write $100 check. One, because I don't have a checking account, and two, because I didn't have $100. Come payday, I would take that check, I would bring it to the bank, they would put cash in my hand, put that cash in my hand in my wallet, I would pay a majority of my bills cash at that time, and the other part would get money orders, or I would give to that person too, and they would give me a check for that amount, and I would mail the check off. Everybody's laughing. I'm not laughing. This was my reality still. How is this possible? How is this possible, right? We're in a community where everybody's living good, everybody's making money. You're not getting robbed, you're not getting hustled, you're not getting scammed, you're not getting, how is this possible, right? I'm a grown young man at this point, and thinking to myself, I don't like this joke because I'm this joke. So I made changes. And I made big changes, and I didn't have a drug problem. Let's put it that way. I didn't have a drug problem. If you consider smoking weed a drug, well, you're living under a rock, I guess, because I was the only plant I smoked besides tobacco, and it wasn't like I was an alcoholic. I wasn't drinking my money away. That's for damn sure. I was just making all the wrong choices, doing all the wrong things, and couldn't figure it out, because I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking, and that's why, since I wasn't looking, I couldn't figure it out. If we were to skip ahead to present time, I made some choices throughout those times, before in the past, and I'll just say I was in a situation where I couldn't even take $20 out of the ATM without getting questioned for it, and we couldn't afford anything, right? This is what I was told. We couldn't afford anything, and I was still sitting there, that many decades later, or decade and something later. Like, how is this still possible? So after, like I said, how is this still possible? I don't like this joke. I had to make decisions to change things. And I tell you what, when it comes to writing that check now, things are a different story. Another thing that's a different story is the savings account. Let's be honest, maybe in this community things are different, but in the world, or in the United States alone, most people do not have a savings account. They don't have anything in savings. They don't have anything to fall back on, or something to carry on through if something were to come up or happen or whatever. I take winters off. Most of the winters I don't work, and sometimes shit has came up, this or that, but I prefer not to work in the winter because I do things differently now. I do things on my own agenda and plan, and I plan for it, so I do things accordingly. That allows me that luxury, in a sense. I don't like getting up, freezing, driving my ass to work, getting off work, freezing, driving my ass home, and driving in the winter and the snow and the storms and the blizzards. There's just some things I just choose not to do, so I go ahead and do things differently. But once again, since I started looking at things differently and started doing things differently, that's how it works out for me. And the same thing if I were just going to look at once again, the past couple years. I mean, my things doing differently apparently works out really fucking well, and I'm glad I made the choices that I had to make to be able to get there, because the way I was going just wasn't working, and my choices ultimately led to my happiness. And with that being said, my sister was going on a little trip, vacation if you want to call it, and I was lucky enough to go along with her and enjoy that vacation with her. And coming up here next month, I'll be taking another vacation to some place I've never been before, and to do things that I've never, thought was possible or a possibility for myself, because I've been so programmed or used to a certain situation, certain things, and certain restrictions that I just, whatever, I'm going to go do that. It's going to be a hell of a good time. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to take a lot of pictures. Probably ain't going to share every single one of them, but I'll have them. I'll have them up here, and I'll have them in my phone, and I'm going to enjoy it. And that's July. And Labor Day coming up, I already got my next vacation in the planning as well, too. And once again, it's going to be to a place I've never been before, something that I've never done before. And I'm looking forward to that already, big time. Like, it's beyond It's beyond a want. It's something I need to do. And this year is going to be something that I'm going to be doing a lot of, is need to experience new things, go new places. It's time for changes for myself, and I'm very much anticipating going through these and experiencing these and enjoying them with good people and good times. I mean, 2019 is going to be a beautiful thing for sure, like you just said there. But probably take my video down because of this, but long story short, if you can relate with any of this shit that I just talked about, maybe it's time for your change, whatever it might be. Maybe you're due for your change, your oil change, however you want to bring it, your life change, your style change, your whatever change, and go with it, rock with it, and see what happens. Make the best out of it. The only one who's gonna do it is you. Nobody's gonna pick you up and throw you in this car and say, you're coming with me on this hell of a ride called life. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, I would like to grab friends and say, come on, let's go, we're all gonna go. And it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, I wish it would. I wish it would for everyone. And they have the best time doing it. But yes, if you can relate with any of this, if you can tell yourself, you know what, that shit is my life, or was my life too, or you want to change it, you have to do it. I had to do it, and it's possible. Many people, well, that's the biggest thing, is they don't think it's possible. It's not meant for them. It's not in their cards. It's not the way it's supposed to be. It is, and it can be. And once again, the only person can do it. So, coming from a friend or somebody that you just listened to for the last 12 and a half minutes, do it. Try it. Fuck it. Right? Fuck it. What do you got to lose? Fuck it. Just do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to enjoy doing it too. And I'm going to continue saying that. And until next time,